Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. As I've said many times, we cover the portal about as aggressively as just about any outlet in America. And that's okay. Everybody's got their strengths, weaknesses, their niche, whatever. We found a nice niche covering the portal. People care. People want to know. And so I bring it up because the portal is done. We've done our top 25, our top 100. Guys have committed. Most guys are on campus at this point. And so I only bring it up because there's one player left who hasn't committed. And I don't think his recruitment is really going the way a lot of people think. And that's Coleman Hawkins, who, of course, is the former Illinois forward who entered the NBA draft, withdrew, and decided to come back to college. Now, what was interesting was Coleman Hawkins said from the beginning, he goes, I'm not going back to Illinois because at the end of the day, I feel like they have recruited a full roster for next year. If I come back, it's not going to be fair to the guys that were brought in to replace me. And so he decided that he's going to be a true free agent. But as the recruitment has heated up since I've been away, it's kind of interesting that there's no real market for him in terms of high-profile schools for a player as good as he is. First of all, he's a very good player. I had him at number 4 on my best players to enter the portal all offseason. 13 points per game, 6'10", can really guard like 2 to 5, can play small ball 5, gets others involved, 38% three-point shooting. By the way, those numbers were through injury. But right now, here is his list of schools. Visited Kansas State the last day or so. Okay, they're okay. They missed the tournament last year, but I think we all think Jerome Tang's a future star in this business. Commit to Kansas State, whatever. The other two that have been reported so far, SMU, Andy Enfield, yes, of course, is there. They have a lot of NIL money, but SMU and LSU, I like Matt McMahon, but it's been 2 pretty rocky years. If he has another one, I don't know if he's going to be around for year 4, especially with some guy named Will Wade a couple miles away winning 30 games a year. So I just bring it up because you sit there and you say, very high-profile player, what is going on with his recruitment? And what I think that I see and that I believe is that Coleman Hawkins, I do believe, made a mistake that I think other players need to learn from going forward. Now, what's that mistake? So he enters the portal and he also, on top of that, declares for the NBA draft. That's not a problem. Okay, whatever. I think he entered the portal in large part because last year he got kind of screwed by the process. Didn't enter the portal last year, comes back to Illinois, and by the time he withdrew from the draft, the portal was closed. So he couldn't transfer, and in the process of not being able to transfer, he kind of had to take whatever NIL offers were available. So this year, and he's been public about this, I don't think I'm speaking anything that a lot of people don't know, but he enters the portal, but when he comes out, here's the thing. He's seeing all the money all these other guys are getting, and he is thinking to himself, well, I'm going to cash in. Great Osabor publicly got $2 million. We've heard crazy numbers for Umar Ballo in the one. I think the Umar Ballo was like 1.3 to 1.5 somewhere in there. Whoever you can speculate on, John L. Davis, on this, that, the other thing, whatever. So what he saw was a lot of money being thrown around. And what I believe he thought was, well, I'm Coleman Hawkins. I'm freaking awesome. I'm going to come back and I'm going to get paid. I'm going to go to a great situation. The problem is there just isn't a lot of money left. And there is certainly not a lot of money left at the spots that people actually want to go. And so I find it interesting because this is a very high-profile player who might not be playing in a very high-profile place next year. And to me, he left the portal, and I even remember saying it at the time. I said, I hope he has a landing spot because you look at these rosters. Let's just go through the rosters that we know have a lot of NIL. Arkansas had basically one spot left They chose Trevin Brazil because Trevin Brazil was ready to commit on the spot. Coleman Hawkins wanted to play the field, see how much money you could get, blah, 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 this and that. Louisville was full. He was still supposed to visit Louisville. That got canceled. My guess is his dad tweeted at me, "Oh, it has nothing to do with what you think it has to do." No, I think they're out of roster spots, and they're probably out of mostly NIL money as well. North Carolina, we thought they needed a big guy, but does he really fit? He's kind of more of a 4 than a 5. He's not really the back to the basket guy. And so now North Carolina's out of the picture. They take the kid from Vanderbilt. So you go on down the list, and what ends up happening is there's not a lot of money at the places you want to go. I mean, and by the way, it's not just those schools. Kentucky's out of roster spots. UConn's out of roster spots. Kansas has spent all. There's just, it is an important lesson for these young players. If you're going to withdraw from the NBA draft, you need to make one of two decisions. One, you need to withdraw earlier, or you need to withdraw earlier so there's more options, there's more on the table. By the time June 1 comes around, everybody's rosters are set. And again, all of the NIL money has been spent. But then two, and this is the important part, if you're going to withdraw from the NBA draft, you have to know the market. And this is where his agent, I think, really failed him. Now, listen, maybe he gets some Godfather offer. Maybe Kansas State is the school that he always wanted to go to anyway after Illinois. I don't know. I'm guessing not. But this is a failure by his agent. This is a failure to not know the market. This is a failure not to know the market, not only from a financial standpoint, but who actually even needs players at this point. And as I said, nobody really needs players at this point. Rosters are set. Guys are in. Guys are coming back, whatever. And it's his agent's job to be working behind the scenes. It's his agent's job to know who has availability, who would be interested, and how much money do they have. And so the kid comes back, and I think he's in a tough spot right now. Again, maybe Kansas State is the spot that he always wanted to go to. I don't really think so because he stayed at Illinois for 4 years. But maybe Kansas State is always the spot that he wanted to go to. But SMU, again, I love that staff at SMU. They were in LA forever. I know them all. They're great people. But Coleman Hawkins, I don't believe, wanted to end his career at SMU. I certainly don't think he wants to end it on a bad LSU team in the bottom of the SEC, probably at a PMAC that's going to have 4,000 people in it every single night. So this is an important lesson, and this is an epic failure by his agent. Honestly, I think it's a fireable offense. You're the NIL guy. You have to know the market, who's available, what's out there. And oh, by the way, you also have to know if this kid thinks he's getting great O support money, and that's not even let me say it's pretty sourced. I know a school that was recruiting him that basically he's like the agent said the conversation starts at grade O support. Now that's negotiating whatever. I don't really care, but you got to know the market. Who has what money to spend, and is there a landing spot for me? Now it's June 11th, and he's still trying to figure things out. Feel bad for the kid, but this is an important lesson. Agents work for you. Make sure they're doing their job.